Hello! I think everything is working now. Getting everything set up. This is quite loud. Let me turn it down a little bit. That should be good. Hello and welcome to a very special Valentine's Day stream of I'm going to shuffle this so it's in the middle. A game called Perfect Date. This is a cat dating sim, everybody. How exciting. So I got this game in a Humble Monthly a while ago, as did a lot of other people, and it has, despite the ridiculous premise, it has very positive reviews on Steam, and people have compared it to like Hatterful Boyfriend and things like that. So I thought I'd give it a go. Yeah, I guess we should just get going, I guess. Oh, let's check how to play. You can either progress the story by either hitting space or enter buttons. Alternatively, you can click progress the story by left-clicking here. If you're feeling a little spicy, you can even progress the story by left-clicking this icon. To rest to restore your health, running out of hearts may have consequences. Finishing 3 research events will result in the completion of your contract, ending your current chapter. So make sure you've done everything you want to do before you research for the project. Finish your research for the professor. It's no good if I can't read now because it's a visual novel, so the entire game is about reading. Keep an eye out for anything odd. Curiosity may have killed the cat, but it might lead you to some fun extras. Cool. All right, let's get going. Start a new game. So we get to pick a character. They're slightly more detailed on the right-hand side. Let's go with this fella. And I'm going to call him Harold after my late cat. It's kind of weird to name the only human character in the game Harold after a cat, but that's okay. This game supports an autosave feature. Please don't turn off your game while this is saving. I am an angel and I accept. I am a devil and I reject. I mean, I'm a devil and I reject. Oh! Ha 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 ha! Well, what do we have here? It looks like a human. It smells like a human. And I'm sure it will taste like a human. And yet, it calls itself a devil. How is that possible? This is not the start I expected to this game. Look at that. Look at that creepy fucking cat on fire. Oh my god. Oh, this cat's falling into the flames. Oh no! What a dreadful start. All the universe above and below the earth knows that I am the devil, the one and only, the original and everlasting, you snivelling, lying, trembling creature. Allow me to school you in the ways of hell. You call yourself Harold, and yet you and I both know that is a lie. You are my minion, the Bunyip Man. Oh shit, no, it's grabbed my Steam name? Is that what I think that's my name on Steam. You are in my domain now. There is only one voice to listen to, one authority to be obeyed, one will to serve. I am the master of everything. But the Bunyip Man, I am a sporting devil too. It would be so easy to crush you into eternal damnation right here, right now. But where's the fun? So this is what I'll do. You have a chance, a slim one, at redemption. Answer the following question correctly, and you may escape my clutches. For now. Yes, I'll do anything you say, O great master, or do your worst, horn dog. Up yours, horn dog. Oh, we got an achievement. What's that for? Half measures avail us to nothing. Oh, okay. So that just... Okay, cool. I guess so now we're on a boat. I'm not sure how long we've been sailing, but it feels like forever. I'm not feeling too well now, so it's a huge relief to hear the deck lad shout, "Island approach! Make yourself ready!" I'm finally here. When I applied last month, I was just another broke student living off baked beans, and didn't really think I had a chance of being accepted to be part of the prestigious Cat Island research team. Yet here it is, the little black dot in the distance, growing bigger by the second, is the infamous Cat Island, the place I will call home for the next few months. My heart momentarily skips a beat. What if there's been a mistake? What if they accepted someone else's application and accidentally sent the offer to me? I rummage about in my bag until I find the papers. Dear Harold, we are pleased to be able to offer you the position of research assistant to Professor Pauper at our research facility on Cat Island. The position will be for an initial period of 8 weeks. Your contract will be sent separately. We look forward to working with you. Sincerely, Professor Pauper. Make no mistake, that's my name, right there in the top left-hand corner, Harold, and there's his name at the bottom, the genius behind this whole operation, Professor Pauper, science genius and my new boss. I look up from my papers to see dry land rapidly approaching before us. It seems to be surrounded by a huge barrier of impenetrable black rocks. As we get closer, we're not slowing down. I begin to worry that we're going to crash into them. Then, at the very last moment, we take a sharp turn to the left, and suddenly we're sailing smoothly towards a jetty through an opening in the rocks. I blow out the breath that I've been holding and break into a smile. Nicely done, Skipper. The ferryman comes out from behind the steering wheel, ignoring my attempts at camaraderie, and shouts rather brusquely, "Take all your belongings! We won't be back for days, so don't leave nothing you'll need." Thank you. I smile weakly at the ferryman and his son and pick up my bags, ready to disembark. We glide seamlessly up to the wooden jetty and the son leaps ashore to tie us off. Oh, but yeah, okay. He's greeted by a bulky man in a uniform, who I take to be a security officer of some kind. Joe. Sir, you caught a mouse. And then he laughs loudly as though he's said the funniest thing he's ever heard. It's very disconcerting. The security guard remains surly and turns his attention to me. Let's be having you then. He holds out his large hand, which I assume is an offer to help me off the boat, but as I reach out to take it, he snatches it away, throwing me off balance so that I almost fall over the side. What a great start. ID card? Oh, I see, of course. I reach into my back pocket and hand over the laminated card I was given on the mainland. So this is set in 2017. This is issued on the 1st of Jan 2017. Not much other information there, I guess. I like the loading screens, or saving screens in this. Also, didn't I say I didn't want to save? Never mind. He barely looks at it before striding off, grunting over his shoulder. This way. I follow him down a dirt track path and get my first proper view of the island. It's beautiful, lush and green. I'm already under its spell. After no more than a couple of minutes of trekking, we're in base camp, which consists of an assortment of tents and huts. Why is this not playing desktop audio? You won't be able to hear the wonderful music. Oh, hold on, the audio's fucked. Audio devices. Why does it keep doing this? Hold on. Okay, there we go, you should be able to hear the music now. After no more than a couple of minutes of trekking, we're in base camp, which consists of an assortment of tents and huts. Among them are two more solid-looking structures, one larger and one smaller. I presume these are the labs. The whole camp is moderate but functional. It reminds me of an army outpost. I'm struck by the lack of people. In fact, there's no one around apart from an older woman sitting outside peeling a pile of potatoes. I smile and give her a little nod, but she just stares back at me. Try not to get paranoid. Everyone is a little odd here, isn't they? Aren't they? There. He stopped at the largest of the tents, indicating that I should go inside. I feel rude just walking in, so I make my presence known first. Hello? A firm but friendly voice calls out. Come. I walk in, and there he is, hunched over some documents. The great Professor Pauper. Sir, it's an honour to meet you. Yes, you must be Harold. Come in, my dear. Glad to take you on board. Good journey? Well, long. Yes, indeed. We're rather tucked away here. Let me offer you some refreshment. Water, coffee, something stronger, perhaps? Whiskey? I say I'm fine, just water. It'd be rude to let you drink whiskey on your own. I'd love to have a cup of tea if there's a pot on the go. It'd be rude to let you drink this whiskey on your own. Well, if you're having one, it'd be rude to let you drink whiskey on your own. Jolly good. I can tell you and I are going to get along famously. As the famous drunk Professor Pauper, who's always having a whiskey in the middle of the day. He takes a swig from a bottle. Oh, he doesn't even pour it out and passes it to me. I try not to show my self-consciousness and surreptitiously wipe the neck with my sleeve before taking a modest sip. I will leave you... no. It will take you a while to find your way around and discover how it all works. So for today, I thought I would just get you kitted out. And maybe introduce you to some of the locals. The cats, that is. I believe you've already met most of the human locals. Oh, I've only met the ferryman and the security guard who brought me here. Yes, that's about it. And the lady outside? Ah, Miss Marigold. Her and her husband are the caretakers. Wonderful little marigolds. You'll meet them before too long. We're a tiny little family here, Harold, and I'm sure you'll fit in nicely. It's getting drunker as I go along. I'm sort of feeling my way into the voice. Thank you, sir. I hope so. Okay, first things first. This is your basic kit. He begins going through a pile of things on his desk, explaining each of them in turn. This is your backpack. You can put things in it. We will be going on plenty of field trips, so it will be very useful. As will your own water bottle. Some disinfectant hand spray. And these are heavy-duty reinforced gloves, which are essential when tagging cats out in the wild. Don't worry, scratches with the felines. We don't know now, do we? I suppose not. I shove each item into my new backpack as he gives them to me. Likewise, these goggles are to be brought along on all field trips. This lot here, he indicates to a small pile of what looks like laundry, is basic uniform. Lab coats, masks, stethoscopes, etc. That kind of thing. Yeah. Portable first aid kit, camping knife with all the tool attachments, and finally, without a doubt, and most importantly, this. He holds up something that looks a lot like a mobile phone, except it clearly isn't one. This is your catalogue. Catalogue? Yes, the name comes from its earliest version. It was initially designed to record and store data on the cats, scan them, and log their details. But as you see, we've come a long way there since then. And now you can use it to communicate with the rest of your team. I've added everyone's contact details for you. Listen to music, take photos. There's even a pen that comes out with to insert microchips in the back of cat snacks so we can keep track of them. It's a very valuable piece of equipment, Howard, and I need you to protect it with your life. Do you understand? He's looking at me directly in the eye and clearly expects a response. But he's obviously totally glazed over, so will not recognise the response I give. Yes, sir, of course I'll look after it. Good. You'll get all the functions as you go along, but for now I suggest you take a stroll, see if we can't find a few friends to introduce you to, so you can try it out. He hands me the gadget. I feel a bit nervous taking charge of it, but also really keen to have a go. We head down to the beach, the professor explaining things as we go. The mixture of terrain on Cat Island is quite unique. Each in such a relatively small area, even in such a relatively small area, you'll find forests, mountains, jungle, beaches, woodlands. All of these are different geological and ecological zones in one place. It's really most remarkable. It certainly is. Even the lack of wildlife is in itself quite remarkable. What do you mean, Professor? Well, put it simply, there's a type of force field that surrounds the island, disallowing anything to enter. You mean literally anything? Absolutely! No birds, fish, or creatures of any kind could penetrate it. Forgive my lack of intelligence on this subject, but we're here? The professor lets out a disconcertingly loud laugh. Ha! Ah, I see what you mean. Well, there is of course one small break in visible wall, and that is where we built the jetty. But let's not get too bogged down in all this right now. What you do need to know is that basically the island is shaped like a peanut. He picks up a nearby stick and draws a simple map in the sand. This is our end of the island. It's very well known to us now. We've been researching here for many years. The other end is not so familiar to us. We have encountered difficulties that have hindered our progress in the region. Oh, what was that? Like static stuff. That's like the devil from the beginning. Ugh. What type of difficulties, Professor? Well, we're not sure as we like to be, but for what I can tell you is the environment has an adverse effect on humans, inducing nausea at the very least. That might be the whiskey, I'll give you that, but it could also be the island. And at worst, fainting, migraines, possible nerve damage, all the things that are also caused by alcohol, but definitely not in this case. Gosh, that is serious. As I say, best to keep away. But let's not go into that all now, my dear. My pretty little man. You've had a long day. For now, let's just say that we refer to the far end of the island as the danger zone with good reason. I must ask you not to put yourself at risk by venturing beyond this mountain range here. He refers to the map once more, drawing a line just past the centre and an X through the end section. There are wild, aggressive cats out there. I wouldn't want you to get too close to them. I like our lovely fellows closer to home. He has led me to a spot where a few cats are lounging about. I've got my glasses. Distracting me. What do you say we try our catalogue now, Harold? He stoops down and he picks up one of the animals, a disgruntled looking cat who was sleeping under the shade of a palm tree. The cat lets out a displeased mew but doesn't struggle. Its large body, billowing with long orange fur, just sort of hangs in the professor's arms in a lazy resignation. Would you like to have a go at scanning this delightful chap? You find the on switch and, somewhat timidly, activate it. The gadget immediately comes to artificial life, emitting a boop 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 sound with a red pulsating light. I select the app CAT scan and it loads instantly. There's no delay on this thing. The professor holds the cat towards me with arms outstretched. I'm sure he said the scanning chip is implanted into the back of the neck somewhere, but it's difficult to find this one's neck amid the thick cloud of fur. I blow to a parting and press the catalogue into his skin. It's a bit like scanning groceries in the supermarket where I used to work. I should do it! As he pops the Marmalade Tom back into the shade. Sure enough, upon withdrawal, I found the cat has been successfully scanned. Meow! It's Floofy Butt! Floofy Butt. Name Floofy Butt. Gender male. Age 10 years 4 months. Breed red tabby Persian. Eye colour red. Oh, okay. Amazing! Clever, isn't it? A large part of your job here will be to tag and scan the cats, such as Mr. Floofy Butt here. But it looks like you have no problems in all of that area. Excellent work, Harold! Thank you, sir. I can't wait to get started. Well, why don't you get a bit more practice with the catalogue and scan the rest of them while we're here? These 5 spend a lot of time together. They're like a little family, aren't you? Yes, you are. The Professor seems to be a genuine cat lover like me. I think we're going to get along great. Okay, here goes. No help this time. Professor steps back. The first cat I approach is very friendly, with beautiful calico markings. It comes towards me, already purring. Trixie. Meow. Trixie, female, 3 years, 8 months, calico American short hair, eye colour green. She's got like one eye, the other one's like constantly closed or something. Next is an elegant, sleek, hairless cat sitting gracefully in the sun. She doesn't pay me much attention and allows me to scan her with minimal fuss. Oh my god. These pictures look very different. She looks... That looks more like a hairless cat. She kind of looks like a sort of chicken breast with a band put around the middle. Snooty Booty. Meow. Snooty Booty. Name, Snooty Booty. Gender, female. Age, 11 years and 1 month. She's also winking, or has only one eye. Breed, Sphinx. Eye colour, blue. The 4th cat I approach is a noisy one. McMurphy. Meow, 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 meow. McMurphy. Male, 6 years, brown crossbreed, eye colour green. Oh yeah, they're all winking. And finally, the one I've deliberately put off till last. He's skulking around the edges of the activity, eyeing me suspiciously, as though he could pounce at any moment. I laugh at myself, already projecting personalities onto these animals. Kibbles. Male, 3 years, white British long hair, eye colour green. All done! I hope you enjoyed meeting some of the locals. The Professor lets out a little laugh. I have a feeling you'll get to know them quite well in time. That's probably enough for your first day, don't you think? It's quite a lot to take in. I am suddenly exhausted and grateful to be heading back to the camp. It's quite late by the time I've unpacked and settled myself, but I want to write my journal entry before I sleep. I'm surprised at how chilly it is. I've pulled my sleeping bag right up to my chin, but I still feel goose pimples bloom all over my arms. Shivering, I rub them to warm myself up. It makes me smile to think that this inherent reaction to the cold is what's keeping my new feline friends warm tonight. My eyelids close, thinking of cats, and the island, and the Professor. The world around me drifts away as I float into a dream. Whoop. Okay, something's definitely up here. Just going to turn off my radio. I'm not sure how long I've been asleep, but I wake with a violent jolt that leaves me sitting bolt upright. It's too dark to see anything. Too dark to hear anything? Too dark to see anything, but I hear a rustling, and then a strange electronic noise, one that in my sleepy confusion I can't place right away. Boop, boop, boop. The catalogue! Acting on instinct, I scramble to my feet and follow the noise out the tent. I look around me and my fears are confirmed when I catch sight of a pulsing red light getting fainter in the direction of the forest. I snap into action, running as fast as I can. Barefoot, dressed in my pyjamas, running at full speed into the forest in the dark of night. I must be crazy! The words of Professor Pauper are ringing in my ears. I need you to protect it above all else. My legs are trembling beneath me. I stop, my heartbeat heavy throughout my body. I wheeze in and out, my breath billowing in front of me in white puffs. I like these cats in the landscape, that's really cool. I shouldn't feel like this. Why am I so dizzy? I try to get my bearings and realise I've blundered perilously close to the danger zone. Oh shit. I could just make out the shapes of some large animals in front of me before my eyes closed and I dropped to my knees. I open my eyes. The calico cat I scanned yesterday is sitting in front of me. She drops the catalogue at my feet. Oh fuck, it's Tiddles and the lads. The fucking Tiddles gang. There were some words there. Was it like don't fight or something? Okay. I pass out. It's far too cheery a saving screen. Hello? Can you hear me? Floofy butt. Are you okay? What is it? Don't be ridiculous, Kibbles. It's a human. Oh, yeah. Yuck, I can smell it now. Smells like a human. Oh, do be quiet. Are they alive? Of course it's alive. It's breathing, you imbecile. Why isn't it moving? I don't remember what voice I gave McMurphy. He'll probably have a similar voice to Kibbles. Would you come on and give him some space? Move back a bit. Yes, stand back. Move out of my way. Let me have a proper look. I begin to come to. The Sphinx cat is standing over me as I open my eyes. We stare at each other for a moment while I try to take in what's happening. Is this one defective? Oh, I feel sick. I'm gonna puke. The cats watch me intently. Am I going insane? Ow, my head! What is it chattering about? They're scared and confused. Let me talk to them. Human? Are you alright? You! I remember you took my catalogue! Oh, but I gave it back to you. It's in your pocket now. I try to reach into my pocket and realise my hands are scratched to shreds. Ah! What's wrong with my hands? I try to stand. Oh, my feet! What happened to me? Yeah, I guess that's from all the climbing. I told you he wasn't ready for that. What's that? Ready for what? Its anatomical structure is far too delicate. I tried to slow it down. Yeah, Floof, you try restraining a human who's that determined. It was like... What? It was like a margay. Its anatomical structure didn't seem that delicate to me. I was like, a what? Doing what? You made your own way back to the beach. Okay, but that doesn't explain. I show my bleeding hands. Ah, you crawled. Kara. Kara? Who's Kara? That's not my name. It's a term of endearment. It's an Irish thing. Oh, so he's Irish. Oh, of course, I should have got that from McMurphy. Am I going to do a dreadful Irish accent? It's an Irish thing. It's inappropriate. Wait, I crawled? You sure did. Yeah, that's going to be it for now, isn't it? That's going to be the accent. Like a cat? Yep. All the way from the mountains? Like a bleeding mountain lion. Impressive, to be sure. But why? Because you got the sickness. Shh. Maybe you should sit down, human. We need to have a talk. Possibly a long talk. Talk? Yeah, that's right. Since when can cats talk? Oh, for goodness sake, since the dawn of time. How else do you think we communicate? Oh, stop spitting whiskers, Major. I'm never going to not make myself laugh with that. You know full well what the human is saying. I think the revelation here, Kara, is that you can understand us. Yes, that too. Will someone please explain what the hell is going on here? Well, we don't fully understand everything ourselves. At least, not all the details of how this works. I mean, being stood in a forest, surrounded by a bunch of talking cats, it's about as much detail as anybody would want. I agree. More to the point, we were rather hoping you would be able to help us. You are the scientist, after all. What do we know? What do we know is... What we do know is that the clock has started ticking for you. What do you mean? Well, there's no easy way to say this to you, Kara. You'll be catified. I'll be what? Whether you help or not, you don't have a lot of time before. If I may, it would seem, as we are basing this on our own experiences to date, that when a human manages to find themselves in what I believe you call the danger zone, they are vulnerable in ways that previously they were not. That is to say, you're screwed. You're not helping. Don't make me... Whoa, mountain lion. I'm going northern. I can't... Why can't I stick to one Irish accent? There'll be no violence of any kind. That's close enough. Forgive me for being a bit panicked here. The vulnerability which Snooty Booty was referring to is, simply put, if you are bitten or scratched by an elder cat within the danger zone, you will begin a process of change that will ultimately result in a full feline transition. Catified! So basically you're telling me I'm a werecat. I look down, and in amongst the scratches on my right hand are 2 distinct puncture marks. The reality of my situation descends on me like a cold mist. Basically. Yes. My head is spinning too much for me to take it in. Take a breath now, Kara. You're not looking so good. What? Have I started to change? I feel my head for ears, fur, everything seems normal. No. I just meant you're looking a bit shaky. Understandably so. I take a few deep, steady breaths and calm myself enough to say, okay, so why, how, what? Give me some data. What have you got so far? Look, we'll answer anything we can, but the truth is we have more questions than answers ourselves. So, you said you need my help. What exactly would that entail? Well, we're finding our friends would be a fucking start. The cats on this island, they're going missing. We don't know what's happening to them, but the body count is rising and we've hit a wall. A wall of ignorance, maybe. Really, how many times do I have to tell you? The Muellers are to blame. Muellers? Now, Floofy Butt, there is no need for name calling. Speaking of name calling, I'll remind you to call me Major, madam. Look, they can't help the way they are. It's a lack of breeding, you know. Overbreeding, if you ask me. Again, Muellers, they're the elder cats, the island originals. They can't speak the way we can, hence the derogatory term Muellers. And how are they to blame exactly? Well, if I knew that, there wouldn't be no need for this elaborate kidnapping. It's hardly proving to be a roaring success after all. Look, Kara, all we really know is that we're no longer safe on this island. The elders who live within the danger zone are hostile towards us. Not sure why, it's just they've always been that way, and now because cats are being taken... I'm gonna stop commenting on it. Nowhere else is safe either. You expect the occasional mishap. We live in an undomesticated world here, after all. But lately, cats have been disappearing almost every day. Even the last human we catified went missing. I'm sorry, what? Let's not open old wounds, Kibbles. Yes, onwards and upwards. Well, first things first, this werecat thing. Catification. Transition. Whatever. How does it work? Time passes, then you transform into a cat. Yeah. It's a gradual process. It's different for everyone, but you won't just turn overnight. The clock is ticking, however. The first side effect of the transition is being able to understand us. Well, some of us. Not the elders, obviously. Not all domestics either. Then you have the whole heightened senses thing, the increased agility, the crazy body hair stuff. Let's not worry a human with all the details just yet. I assume there's an antidote. I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed with that assumption. Hang on, you said there was someone else who you put in this position. Well, let's hope you're a better bet than they were. Unfortunately, they weren't able to discover an antidote or get our friends back. I know where their notes are, though. Really? Trade? Huh? You help us, and I'll give you the progress reports. So what do you say, Kara? Will you help us? Okay, so let's reevaluate what the fuck has happened so far, because we're about half an hour into this batshit game. So we've met the devil after claiming we were the devil. He asked us to answer a question and we refused, and then we woke up on a boat travelling to an island full of cats where scientists are looking at the cats or something, tagging them for some reason. And then we were told by the professor not to go to the dangerous side of the island because bad shit happens, and everyone looked pretty upset about the whole ordeal apart from the scientist who we have gathered is a heavy drinker for reasons probably related to this shit. And then a cat enticed us into the danger zone so that we would get bitten by an elder cat and we'd be able to understand them so we can help them find a cure. Well, I mean, I'm all for helping these cats solve their problems. I don't think there's any reason not to help them. Sure, let's help them out. Not much of a choice, really, is it? Afraid not. Okay, fine. So where do I start? Is there anything you can tell me that will help me track down your missing friends? No one listens to sense. Start with the Muellers, and I'll eat my hat if it doesn't end there too. Don't mind him, he's set in his ways. We have every reason to believe the abductions take place in your part of the island. Yes, nowhere near the danger zone of the elders. Well, that doesn't make much sense, but I suppose nothing does around this place. Shit, I thought that was my actual phone. They just used the alarm sound from Android phones. My catalogue starts beeping. Oh, my alarm! I have to get to work. You run along now. We don't want you arousing suspicions with your people. You can meet with us later. I'll make sure those reports are in your tent before this evening. Thank you, Kara. You're 1 in a million. I imagine the odds are far greater than that, given your new health status. Go! And thanks from all of us. Okay. After a rather painful journey, I am grateful to finally limp into camp. I have just enough time to get myself tidied up for work, and I'm about to peel off my filthy pyjamas when I hear my catalogue beeping. I have a message, but I can't tell who it's from. It's not from any of the contacts that Professor Pauper programmed into it. In fact, there's no contact information at all. Unknown number. Are you sure it's wise to trust everyone? Anyone? What on earth does that mean? Who is this? There's a lot you don't know. Think carefully about who you confide in. Okay. Before I can think of a reply, the messages are gone, and my catalogue has no record of them. I don't have any time to think about this right now. I need to get ready. As soon as I'm preventable? As soon as I'm a preventable person. As soon as I'm presentable, I head over to the lab. I'm 10 minutes late. It doesn't give a good impression of my first morning. Oh, Harold, good to see you. I was beginning to worry. You oversleep on your first day? I'm terribly sorry, sir. I think the travelling and the excitement of yesterday. I take punctuality very seriously. He cuts across my apology. Not to worry, it's perfectly understandable. You'll find I'm quite relaxed about most things, like drinking in the early hours of the day. As long as you get the work done, I don't mind what hours you keep. Thank you, sir. So, should we get started? Oh my goodness, what on earth happened to you? He's looking at the scratches all over my hands. Oh, I fell and tried to save myself by grabbing onto a bush. I'm afraid I led you astray last night. Not everyone can take a double malt. Not like me. How's your head this morning? I decide it's easier to play along. A little bit fuzzy, but it won't affect my work, sir. I really oughtn't drink spirits on an empty stomach. We'll get those hands sorted out though. They look pretty nasty to me. He goes to the tall metal cabinet in the corner and takes out a bottle and some cotton wool, and he begins cleaning and tending to my hands while he talks. Sorry about this. For today, I'd like you to help me with a few tasks around the labs to get a hang of things, but from tomorrow I'll let you make your own choices about how to carve up your time. Of course, you are primarily here to carry out your job with my research assistant. However, try to make the most of the island. Once your work is completed, we'll be saying goodbye. This really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so don't waste it all in the lab. Naturally, I will need your help around here. I also like to get your hands dirty with some field work. Make sure you spend time exploring the island. It's a beautiful place and there's lots to see. Take your time to get to know the cats. A full understanding of their behaviour is crucial to our research. There's plenty to see and do. However, you must be careful not to overwork. Take regular rest and relaxation. We don't want you to burn yourself out now, do we? I'll try and get the balance right. That's the spirit. So, there you are. He's done a first-class job on my wounds, and they aren't bothering me nearly as much. I spend the rest of the day with the professor, getting to know the various pieces of equipment in the lab work, finding out where everything is, and learning some of the basic duties I'll be performing routinely. By the end of the day, I'm exhausted, and I make my way to my tent. I'm about to flop down on my bed when I see a package poking out from underneath it. It's the reports that Kibbles promised to deliver. The cats were right. The previous person barely made a start on producing an antidote. I'm gutted and worried. What if I can't do any better? What if will I just turn into a cat? I decide that's not an option and resolve to get going on my own research into it tomorrow. My instincts tell me that the cats will be a good starting point. I have a feeling they know a lot more than they're prepared to tell me. I need to gain their trust, see if I can get them to open up a bit. I'm sure I'll make more progress if I focus on one at a time. I'm optimistic that one-to-one sharing will prove fruitful. It's a small glimmer of hope. Tonight, I'm not fit for anything. I can barely even write in my journal before I fall asleep. The first morning of waking up on the island. I'm so excited to discover what the day will bring. Should I jump straight into lab research? Or maybe it'd be wise to start investigating a way to help these cats and find a cure for myself. Perhaps a good starting point would be to get to know the cats a little better on a one-on-one basis. Oh, we got an achievement. New job. Right. So, we can romance, we can research, or we can recon. I'm not quite sure what recon is. But romance is obviously like the getting to know the cats. Well, it's a dating sim, and it is Valentine's Day, so let's start with a bit of romance. Oh. These... I don't really like Snooty Booty very much, but I am aware that I'm going to have to keep doing that awful Irish accent if I talk to McMurphy, whereas the Snooty Booty accent I can do pretty well. So I'm going to talk to Snooty Booty. And hopefully one of the easier cats to do will come. Wait, there were 6 windows there, weren't there? And we've only met 5 cats. So there's a mystery cat. Ooh, sorry. I'm splayed out like a starfish on the beach in my bathing clothes. It's a swelteringly hot day and I find it hard to concentrate on my work, so here I am. I let the cool sea wash over my feet and legs as I lay back on the sand. I hear a long, loud sigh coming from somewhere nearby, and I sit up to see where it came from. Snooty Booty, in repose, under the shade of a palm tree, is looking about her with a concerned expression, one that I've never really seen a cat make before. I go over to her to see if I can help with something. Are you okay, Snooty Booty? She lets out another long, wistful sigh. To be quite frank with you, human, no, I am not okay. I cannot expose this delicate skin of mine to the sun, but there is something I need to retrieve from further down the beach. It is quite the predicament. Oh, right. You want me to get it for you? Oh, would you be so kind, human? I would be very grateful. Sure, it's no problem. We can't have you putting that delicate skin of yours at risk, can we? Snooty Booty looks grave. Indeed not. Skincare must come above all else, don't you know? One must never expose one's skins to the element, human. Skins to the element. That's mixing up my plurals there. It really is quite aging. One must also never get stressed if one wishes to retain one's youthful aura, which is rather difficult on this frightful island. Oh, I know, believe me. How do you know? Are you stressed? Oh no, that would upset me terribly. Really? That's sweet of you. Of course, you really are a precious thing. I do so hope you are finding your time here pleasant. Don't worry about me, Snooty Booty, I'm fine. Now, what was it you'd like me to get for you? Well, before I tell you, I must ask you that you don't inform the others of the whereabouts of this particular item. It is very dear to me, you see, and one of the few luxuries I have all to myself. Of course, that's no problem. I can be discreet when I need to be. I've just fucking eyebrows. I do hope so, human. You see, along the beach, just south of here, there is a tree which bears the ripest of coconuts all year round. It is quite splendid. The coconuts are always so sweet and creamy. Snooty Booty looks as if she's lost in a wonderful dream. Sounds lovely. It is. I like to drink coconut water as often as I can, as it's good for the skin and the waistline. But the less civilized denizens of the island keep knocking down the coconuts before they're fully matured. Fortunately, no one seems to have discovered this particular tree yet. Well, okay, Snooty Booty, I'll find some coconuts for you. I'll be back soon. You have my thanks, human. I've been walking for a lot longer than Snooty Booty led me to believe. I'm not sure if this is even the right tree. They all look the same to me, although this one does seem to have more coconuts than the others. I decide to take a chance and muddle up as many as I can and carry them in my arms. Oh, I skipped that by accident. By the time I get back to Snooty Booty, I'm faint from exertion, not to mention walking so far in the sun. I fall to my knees, panting in front of her. Here you go, Boots. She eyes the pile with a distinct air of disapproval. I only needed one coconut, human. Oh. These are far too many. Well, I do apologise, madame. Tell me, you didn't plunder the tree? No, there were plenty on the ground already, so... Oh, well, that's a small mercy. At least you didn't hack them down. Hack them down with what? Well, your hands are rather large and leathery. Snooty Booty, I do not use my hands for deforestation. Well, I'm sure you did your very best, although I really don't know what I'm going to do with so many coconuts. You're welcome, I'm sure. I look down at the pile of coconuts, and it strikes me properly for the first time how strange it is that there are no creatures on the island to plunder them. What do you think it is, Snoots, that keeps wildlife away from the island? Do you mean the magnetic barrier? Magnetic barrier? Oh, do keep up, human. I thought you were meant to be a scientist. I realised she was referring to the force field that surrounds the island. Now be a dear and crack one open for me. With my enormous hands. Well, you could try, I suppose. I push down the irritation that is slowly rising in me and smile politely. On second thoughts, I'll be right back with a screwdriver. A what? Snooty Booty looks horrified. It's a sharp metal tool that bores into things. What on earth would you need one of those for? So I can make a hole to get the water out of the coconut. How else would you propose I do it? Well, look around you, dear. Look at nature's bounties. What about that? Snooty gestures with a limp paw at a shard of rock nearby. Snoots, how do you usually get the water out of the coconut when there isn't a human around? Well, the exuberant Kibbles simply loves to break things. Had you not noticed? It's one of the few reasons I tolerate him. Don't you know? Far better than one of your screw dribblers, don't you think? I reach over and pick up the rock. It does look like it could actually do the job. Okay, let's give it a try. Here goes. Holding the coconut in a palm leaf, I gently tap the shell a few times with the stone before finally whacking it. It cracks open surprisingly easy and the water drains into the leaf. There now! See how nature provides, human? Yep, again, you're welcome. Quite. Snooty Booty stretches her neck and then upper body towards the leaf. She sticks her tongue out as far as it can go before raising her big eyes up to me. I can't quite seem to... Shall I feed her coconut milk? Sure, I'm trying to get... I guess I'm trying to get information out of her, so I should probably try and butter her up by being her slave for a bit. I let her struggle for a moment or two before I begin to feel a little bit like a child pulling the wings off a fly. She can't help the way she is. You seem to be struggling a little, Boots. Well, you've placed my libation slightly out of my reach. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to help? Bring it a little closer, perhaps? Well, of course I would, human. Are you being deliberately obtuse? I would very much like to help you, Snoots, but you're making it rather difficult. How? I don't understand. I have been perfectly clear in my instruction. You see, I'm under a spell. It's a very powerful one which prevents me from following any instruction unless it's accompanied by some magic words. Oh? Would you care to enlighten me? Well, it would go something like this. Please, human, would you mind passing me my libation? Thank you very much. There's a pause, during which I'm really not sure what Snooty Booty is thinking. Suddenly, the Sphinx erupts into peals of laughter. I seem to have forgotten my manners. Please do be so kind, human. I would be most obliged. Oh, go on then. I nudge the leaf closer to her and she delicately laps at it. Meow. Hello, Jonas. I am truly indebted. Many thanks. That looks delicious. Look at that snooty little face. Snooty agrees without taking a break. You know, searching for those coconuts was thirsty work. I'm sure it was. She's still lapping at the water. My throat's a bit scratchy, especially in this heat. Snooty Booty finally comes up for air. Quite. That's the beauty of the coconut, you see. So hydrating, and most palatable too. You really ought to try it sometime. I look down at the now dry palm leaf. Yes, that's a good idea, Boots. And the very best thing about drinking coconut water, after drinking coconut water, is to curl up and have a nap, you know? Beauty sleep is most important. Oh, is that so? Indeed, human. I suppose you have other things to do now? Well, Snooty Booty yawns and closes her eyes. I suppose I do. Sweet dreams, princess. She snores softly in reply. Well, so what did we learn from that? I guess we learned that the barrier is magnetic. We learned 1.4% of an antidote somehow. We learned the barrier is magnetic and that Tiddles likes to break things. I'm sure that will come in useful at some point, maybe? Let's do some recon. I don't actually know what that is. Maybe it's exploring the island. Oh! There's like separate tasks. Okay. Does it say what they are? Interviewing staff. The security guard I met when I arrived might be a good lead. A strange message in the middle of the night. Doesn't anyone on this island sleep? Yeah, I want to know more about this message. So the recon is like investigating the mystery. I hear my catalogue beeping. I presume it's Professor. I tumble out of bed, half asleep, and fumble around looking for the device. I look at the screen, my eyes struggling to focus. The message isn't from the professor at all. There's no contact information. Oh, is this just... Oh, come out. Oh, so it's a new one. Okay. Come outside. Who is this? Come outside. They obviously aren't going to respond to my question. Should I do as the message tells me? Yeah, obviously. My curiosity is roused. I have a feeling that there's something important to learn from this stranger, so I throw on my clothes and crawl out of my tent. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Anyone out here? My catalogue beeps again. Walk to the edge of the forest. I'm not going any further until you tell me who you are. Walk to the edge of the forest. No! Walk to the edge of the forest. Walk to the edge of the forest. Walk to the edge of the forest. Stop it! By now I realise I have walked to the edge of the forest. Good. At the edge of the forest I see something on the ground. As I get closer it becomes clear that it is a small posy of flowers. I gingerly pick them up and notice that several of the flower heads are missing. My catalogue beeps again. Follow the petals. And that's when I see a trail of little orange petals, the same colour as the bouquet I'm holding. Well, I've come this far. No turning back now. I begin to walk. I'm nervous, so I call out. Hello! No answer. Louder this time. Hello! Hello? Hello? Who is that? Who goes there? Major? Is that you, Flippy Butt? I really wish you wouldn't call me that, human. What on earth do you think you're playing at, cavorting about the forest in the dead of night, causing a ruckus? Oh, Major, you don't know how pleased I am to see you. I need your help. I just can't wait until a civilised hour. I'm afraid it can't. I'm not the one instigating this. I've been getting messages from an anonymous source asking me to follow them into the forest. Look, they left this trail. Ah, Calendula maritima. Marigold, herb of the sun. They're said to represent creativity, though some believe them to be symbols of cruelty and grief. Your knowledge is always so impressive, but I have to say on this occasion, it's not very comforting. Floofy Butt goes off striding with purpose. Come along then, Harold. Are we going to follow this trail or not? I shuffle awkwardly behind him. Before the sun comes up, eh? We continue on for a short while and notice that the petals are getting more sparse. It's becoming more difficult to see them until eventually they seem to run out, and we find ourselves at a small clearing. Well, it appears someone is playing a joke on you, Harold. I sadly agree. This has been nothing but a wild goose chase. Seems so, Major. I'm sorry for dragging you into this. Let's get back to our beds before we waste any more precious snooze time on this fool. I turn to Floofy Butt and notice that his back is arched and his fur is puffed up, making him look even more floofy than usual. Something wrong, Major? You tell me, human. Does that pile of rocks look suspicious to you? Amongst myriad rock piles, I notice a small, contrived-looking cairn. Floofy Butt's right. It looks far from natural. That looks to me like it's asking to be inspected, Major. Well, get to it, Harold. You're the one with the thumbs. I begin to dismantle the small mound, rock by rock. It's not until the foundation stone is removed that we find a manila envelope. Major, look, it's a letter! Rather large for a letter, my dear. I think you ought to open it. Here or back at the base? Having got you this far, I think it's only fair I have an equal share of the spoils. Spoils? Yeah, perhaps we should look at it right now, Major. As I'm speaking, I've torn into the envelope. Well, out with it. It looks like drawings? What sort of drawings? I'm not sure, but they look quite old. Antique even. But do they have value, human? Probably, to someone. They appear to be sketches of people here on the island, but I don't recognise anyone. Why would someone lead me to these? How do you know you were meant to find him? When do you kiss? Is this a date? This is not a date. I did the romance bit with the creepy furless cat earlier, and then she just made me get her coconuts. This is me finding out about creepy messages in the middle of the night with Major here. Although he is a handsome cat. Because we followed a trail and it led us here. Actually, the trail ended a while back. This could be a mere coincidence. I hardly see the intrigue in a few old scribbles. They show no artistic flair at all. Even so, I'm going to hang on to these, see if they prove relevant to whatever mystery is unfolding here on this island. Floofy Butt rolls his eyes. You really ought to focus more on the clues that matter, instead of running around in the middle of the night on wild goose chases. Let's head back before anybody discovers you're missing. I roll the drawings up and tuck them into my waistband. I will study them when I have more time. I think Floofy Butt is probably right, but I don't want to miss a trick. Get some rest now, Harold. Finally, a sensible suggestion. I head after Floofy Butt, struggling to keep up. I really need some sleep. I think the pictures of people... They said they were drawings of people that looked like they were on the island, but no one he's ever seen. I think they're drawings of people before they were turned into cats. So it might be the elder cats or something. Anyway, for now, I'm going to quickly go fill up my bottle of water. So I'm going to take a short break because I've been talking for an hour solid, basically reading this. And when I come back, we'll do the other recon mission, I think. Because I want to know... What was the other one? Oh, it was questioning the security guard. Yeah, so we'll do that in a sec. Alright, be back in a mo. I have returned, and this time with Lemsip. God, I've had a sore throat for the past few days, and talking for an hour straight and potentially another hour is really doing it in. So tomorrow I'm probably not going to be able to talk at all, but that's fine. I don't need to be able to talk tomorrow, just today. Apparently there was a devil at the beginning. Yeah, so when the game opened, it said, as most games do, this game uses an autosave system, and then there was two options. It was I am an angel and so I agree, and I am a devil so I disagree. So I clicked I'm a devil and I disagreed, and then I met the actual devil, who referred to me not as Harold, my character's name, but as the Bunyip Man, my Steam name. And then he said, I'm going to ask you a question, and if you get it right, then your soul will be saved. Do you agree? And I said, I don't agree. And then he laughed at me, and then the game began. So, so I don't know if that's going to come back to haunt me or not. But hey, it's a fun game about dating cats, right? Let's not worry about it. Okay, so we got some drawings of some people who may or may not have been on the island at some point. I think they're the cats. I think... Oh, that's way too hot. This is not helping with the sore throat. It's burning everything. Ow. So I think the drawings are the drawings of the people who were on the island before they got turned into cats. Let's see if we can find out more about this crazy place. Let's go on another recon. And let's go to interviewing staff. We're going to go interview that surly security guard from the boat, from the dock. I've been staring at the back of his head for a long time now. Too long. I'm starting to feel creepy. Just don't understand it. All he does is sit in that chair by the dock, eating egg sandwiches and doing crossword puzzles. How does a man like that become the security guard for a place like this? As far as I can tell, his job consists of greeting the boat to make sure nothing unauthorised gets on or off it, picking up supply deliveries, and occasionally taking a long, lazy lap of the island to make sure everything's secure? I wonder what he knows about the research that goes on here, if anything. He doesn't seem to be interested regardless. I decide it's time to get to know this island bouncer and go to join him at the dock. I sit next to Zane, me on the sand, him on that chair. He's not wearing his big coat, and the short sleeve shirt allows me to notice for the first time how surprisingly muscular he is. Ooh, here we go. I've never truly thought of him as security in the bodyguard sense, but now, squinting at him sideways, trying not to stare too obviously, I begin to see him in a new light. I pluck up the courage to talk. Hey, Zane, how are you? Are you trying to start a conversation? He says this without looking up from his crossword puzzle. Oh, well, I suppose I am, yes. I don't get to chat to humans much in my job. Research Assistant 125. He rolls the words out like he's reading them. Oh, yes. I guess that's me. So what does the number stand for, anyhow? You don't know? He asks monotonously, eyes still glued to his crossword puzzle. No, actually, to be honest, Zane. I don't know much at all. There's a definite lack of intel sharing on this project. Which project would that be? This one? The whole research project that's going on here? Is there more than one? Depends who you ask. You? I was asking you, really? I don't understand your job. I don't need to. I don't care about things I don't need to. What do you care about? Zane looks at me for the first time. You really want to talk, don't you? Well, there's not much else to do here. Besides, I'm interested in it all, aren't you? My interest consists of what's for dinner, and when my next puzzle book's coming. When is it coming? You get it delivered? Comes to the mail. He's back to not looking at me again. The mail? You mean the parcels? And the letters, yeah. The letters? God, this conversation. Who would go to the trouble of sending mail all the way out here when we have email? I laugh, but Zane looks very serious. It's safer sending mail the old-fashioned way. With email, there's viruses, hackers, worms, cyber terrorists. I get the feeling he's not very tech-savvy. Yeah, but anyone can open and read a letter, right? Not if I'm around. And besides, who would suspect that something important would be in a fragrant pink envelope? There's an awkward silence. Of course, being my usually social inept self, I'm desperate to fill it. God, this character really is me, isn't it? Need any help with that crossword? I'm pretty good. I can even do the cryptic puzzle in the Daily Inquirer. This line usually gains me a little kudos, but Zane simply ignores me. I decide to just come out and say what's on my mind. I mean, it can't make things any more awkward than they already are. Zane, have you ever noticed anything strange going on here? Cats behaving weirdly? Zane suddenly looks up, his eyes looking straight into mine, unwavering and hard. No. Have you? Well, not exactly, but he's looking at me properly for the first time since we met. I've definitely captured his attention, but I'm too nervous to follow through. I'm just being silly. The lack of human company can get to me. It gives me daft ideas. Such as... He's still staring at me, as though he's trying to read my mind. Sometimes when I'm out tagging, I feel they're playing games on me, like children, hide and seek, that kind of thing. Some of those cats may be cleverer than any of us give them credit for. Now it's my turn to be intrigued. In what way? They know when to stay out of the sun. You're going pink. The moment, if there was one, is over. I decide maybe Zane isn't the best person to talk to about my concerns. Feeling unwanted and slightly dejected, I decide to head back to camp. I stand up and brush the sand off me. What's a 5-letter word for solitude? Alone. Zane silently scribbles in his book as I leave. Oh, Zane. What could have been? So, what have we learnt? We're employee 125, but there's only like 4 people on the island, which means that there's been like 124 other people, or it's just a number, but I'm assuming they wouldn't have mentioned it so fiercely if it hadn't been important, and that there's something to do with computers, because Zane is worried about them, and that that Zane knows something's up. See, I'm reading between the lines here. It's just a dating game. Have any new recons unlocked? Okay, let's rest. You had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Your energy has been restored. Magic! Okay, so we can't use up our last heart without something bad happening. I thought we'd run out of them and then we take a rest. Let's see if there are any recons left. No. Okie dokie. So the how to play thing said don't do research until you're sure you're ready to move on. So let's do a romance. Let's fill up. Let's talk to. Oh, we can't. Oh, we've cut off the McMurphy line because we went to Snooty Booty. Okay, I guess we're gonna go hang out with Snooty Booty again. Snooty Booty? Snoots! I've been searching for the Sphinx for what feels like ages. Are you just joining us, Dolnick? just enjoy the ride. Basically, this is a game about a scientific research base called Cat Island that we go to, and we meet a drunk professor who tells us we need to tag cats. Then one night, one of the cats tempts us out into the danger side of the island where we get bitten by an elder cat, and now we can understand the cats, and we've been informed that we're slowly turning into one and we need to try and find an antidote. And presumably all of the cats were people at one point. That should bring you up to speed. I've been searching for the Sphinx for what feels like ages. For a cat that never seems to move, she's surprisingly difficult to find. Someone made a game of Jamie's sexual fantasy. Hey. Okay? Look, we've already got the me hitting women in Hitman meme. I don't want the Jamie fucks cat meme too. That's not gonna fly here, okay? If one day we get emotes on this channel, they're gonna be really fucking awful. It's just gonna be a picture of me punching a woman and fucking a cat. Oh god. Okay. I am answered, eventually, by an unintelligible... Yeah, that's the appropriate emote, don't it? I am answered, eventually, by an unintelligible murmur coming from the shade of a nearby tree. Of course, she's sleeping. Snooty Booty? I poke at her gently and try to rouse her. I have something for you. A gift, as it happens. Oh, human, it's you. Whatever are you doing up and about at this time? It's midday, Boots. Snooty stares at me uncomprehendingly. I have an hour for lunch and I came to spend it with you. If it's not a convenient time, I could always find something else to do. Wait, you mentioned a gift. Well, yeah, I suppose I had the idea when we were drinking. Well, when you were drinking from the coconut I fetched from you the other day. I took some of the remaining coconuts over to the lab and I cooked up some coconut oil. Snooty Booty opens her mouth wide. I sit awkwardly, staring at her, unsure exactly what she's doing. Well, I'm ready for my breakfast, human. It's hard sometimes to know whether to laugh or spit with this spoiled feline. No, Boots, it isn't for eating. You mentioned how drinking coconut water, how good coconut water is for you. So I thought you might like some coconut oil to rub into your skin, keep you moisturised and youthful. Aren't you terribly clever? I can't help but blush. Snooty Booty rarely compliments anyone, so I feel honoured. You may begin. I've never clicked on this stats button. I'm just going to quickly do this. Oh, okay, so it's just that screen. Okay, never mind. Snooty Booty lolls onto her back, exposing her plump pink tummy to me. I find sphinxes so fucking creepy. This is... I don't really want to rub... Oh, I missed a line. I like the idea that people would turn into cats, then adopt cat-style names. Well, one of the cats is called Floofy Butts, but he refuses to be called Floofy Butt. He wants to be called Major, but Snooty calls him Floofy Butt. So I don't know if, like, Snooty gave them all cat names or something. I don't know. Anyway, Snooty Booty simply smiles in response. Well, a please wouldn't go amiss. Yes, well, I didn't want to make a fuss, but I would prefer if you asked first. Are you having a stroke? Maybe. I sigh. There's not much point in arguing with Princess Snooty Booty. I don't think she actually means to be rude. Sometimes she just doesn't seem to understand how to talk to people as equals. I don't have the energy to deal with it today, but I make a note that at some point she and I are going to have a little chat about etiquette. Please may I rub this coconut oil into your skin? Yes, you may. Look at that face. I pour some of the pungent liquid into the palm of my hand and rub it together with the other. I have no idea what I'm doing, as I've never massaged anyone before, but I work along the lines of putting the sun cream onto a friend. As I touch the warm, loose skin of Snooty's primordial pouch... Oh, God. This is getting really... Oh. I'm struck by how delicate she really is, and I try to be as gentle as possible. Is that okay? You're very skillful with your hands, human. Okay. I do wish I had those thumb things. They seem so useful. They're quite handy, to be honest, but paws are cool too. Snooty Booty lazily inspects one of her paws. Do my paws next, will you? Snooty's skin is reacting well to the treatment and has become shiny and pliant. I see the good it's doing. I move on to massage her paws, but I'm quite taken aback by the length of her claws. Oh, my Boots. Your claws are really quite long. Don't you use a scratch post or anything? What? You know, something abrasive to file them on. Whatever for? Well, it's part of being a cat, really. Stops them catching on to things. Snooty Booty is peering at me with one judgmental eye open. Caught on what exactly? I don't know, Snoots. Don't worry about it, I'm sure it's fine. Oh no, do go on, I'm intrigued. You seem to be implying that there is a degree of neglect in my grooming. No, I'm certainly not. You are by far the most high maintenance, I mean highly groomed cat I have ever seen. In fact, you are the perfect example of a sphinx. I'm a what? A sphinx? She's trying to get me to say perfect again. It's hard to keep my face straight. Absolutely perfect, Snoots. And you're an expert? Well, I wouldn't call myself that, but I have been reading up on Sphinx cats, and you have all the characteristics of a pedigree. It's very sweet of you to say so. Remind me, what would those be? I hesitate for a moment, trying to remember what pause for thought listed as the top features to look for in a Sphinx. There was rather a lot of info, and I want to give her the best bits. Should we flatter her, or should we be brutally honest with her? I don't really know what the highlights of a Sphinx are. Suck her dick. Does that count as flatter her or be accurate? I'm going to say that is a form of flattery, so I'm going to flatter her. Well, let's see. I have a feeling Snooty Booty would not appreciate some of the common qualities of a Sphinx, including wrinkles and pot bellies, so I decided to cherry pick and dress it up a bit. Sphinx cats are well known for their beautiful big eyes and high, prominent cheekbones. Snooty Booty extends her neck and widens her eyes. She also appears to suck in her cheeks, which gives her the look of someone not wearing their dentures. It's very disconcerting. And they have a very shapely physique. This isn't strictly true. Sphinxes tend to be quite muscular, but something tells me Snooty Booty wouldn't approve of that description. She has now extended her entire body into what looks like a yoga stretch. I see. Go on. Their skin is soft, buttery. Oh. This is sort of true, because they don't have fur to soak up excess oils. Sphinx cats can become quite greasy. It is recommended that they be patted down with a cloth as part of their regular grooming. I'm listening. And they're very regal. Regal? I'm not sure where that word came from, but Snooty Booty seemed to enjoy it. Well, human. It seems you have a vast and accurate knowledge of my kind. I'm rather impressed with you. I blush. It's not often that she gives out compliments, but when she does, it makes you feel $1 million. Thank you, Snoots. Which prompts me to take what you were saying about my claws far more seriously. Do you think you ought to tend to them? In what way? The length. I believe you were suggesting they ought to be trimmed. I wasn't saying that, but I don't think it's such a bad idea. Perhaps I could help you with that? A manicure? What a marvellous idea. Let's say tomorrow. Same time? Well, if I can get away. I feel like she's played me. You really are most kind. Thank you, human. And with those few words, my heart is a puddle at her feet. Oh, I find Sphinx cats really fucking weird, and I don't like that we are pursuing this cat. But it's getting us antidote percentage, I guess. Is there another recon I can do? Anything but talk to her? No. I guess we're gonna go talk to her again. Fill up our romance bar. She's next to like a dock or something. But she always seems to be on the beach. Hey Snoots, fancy seeing you here. Really? This is my spot, human. I'm often to be found here. I let it go because I'm excited about what I've brought. Pick a hand. I hold up my fist in front of Snooty Booty. Oh, a game! How merry! She stretches out her paw in the direction of my left hand. Ta-da! I open it to reveal a piece of coarser stone. Coarse? Oh no, coarse stone. Oh, I'm getting tired already. That I cut up in the lab. Oh, what a lovely rock you have there. It's coarse stone. I thought it could work well as a nail file. What a clever thing you are. That's not even the best bit. Look. I open up the other fist to reveal my fantastic find. Oh my, what is that thing? It's nail polish. I found it in the lab. I have no idea who it could belong to, and honestly, I don't like to think too much about it, but I figured I could borrow it for one short hour without anyone noticing it. He says he doesn't know who could have owned it, but there was a woman when we came onto the island. She just didn't talk to him. So has Harold just basically, since the woman didn't talk to him, just forgotten her existence? And it looks like it could just be just your colour. I squint at the bottom of the bottle. It's called Desire. I raise my eyebrows at the Sphinx. Ooh, nail polish, you say? Show me, human. She suddenly seems more interested. I thought I could give it thought I could try giving you a salon-style manicure, benefiting a lady. Most sweet of you. Now, shall we sort the snacks and drinks first? Oh, well, I came straight from work, so I didn't really... Oh, never mind. It won't take you more than a moment to fetch a coconut, and then we shall begin. I can't believe I'm actually doing her bidding. You have to hand it to her. That air of entitlement certainly gets her what she wants. I'm back quickly and out of breath. Within minutes, we settle into our session. Tell me if this feels at all uncomfortable, Snoots. I've never done this before, so guidance would be most helpful. It's surprisingly satisfying. I can see why other cats might engage in the process of scratching at trees and rocks. I've always thought they were hunting for termites like little scavengers. Oh! Next foot. I finished the hind legs, and I'm onto the final front paw. This stone works really well. Did I tell you how I cut it in the lab? I don't believe you did. So how does this nail polish work? Is it like paint? I ignore her rudeness. Exactly. Paint it on and wait for it to dry. I've never painted someone's nails before, so this will be a new experience for both of us. I open the bottle and make the first stroke. Try to keep as still as possible. I think you'll find I am statuesque in my stillness. Your hand is less so. I know, sorry, your nails are just so tiny. I'm trying to colour within the lines. What lines? Never mind, it's a human thing, I guess. I'm not sure I care for the smell of this nail polish. Really? I quite like it. It reminds me of pear drops. Of what? Sorry, another human thing. Wow, look though, your paws look fantastic. Oh my god. Everything about her is awful. The long, sleek talons are glinting shiny red in the sunlight. Oh my, I am spectacular. She extends her claws momentarily and presses them into my arm. Not enough to puncture the skin, but if I tried to move, it would hurt. For the first time, I appreciate what lethal weapons they could be. I must keep that in mind. So come on then. I take out my catalogue. Come on what? Oh, that's wrong voice. Pose for the camera? Oh goodness, I hadn't realised this was going to be a photographic session. How exciting. Yes, well, I'm going to have to remove that varnish before I go, so I thought it'd be nice to have to take a photo. Remove it? The Sphinx cat looks appalled. Whatever for? Oh, Snoots, I'm sorry. Didn't I say? I can't leave it on you permanently. It would impede the natural retraction of your claws. Then I shall leave them extended. You can't do that. Her expression darkens. I beg your pardon? I thought for a moment I heard you tell me what I can't do. Surely I was mistaken. Should we remove the varnish or compromise with her? Look at that fucking face. She's gone full bore crazy. I really don't care if she can't retract her claws, so I'm going to compromise. I don't care about this cat at all. She's fucking disgusting. No, Snoots, you heard me perfectly well. I must insist that you allow me to remove it. Insist! Her forehead wrinkles with her raised eyebrow. I need to tread carefully here. Ask your permission. Please may I remove the varnish now? But it simply does not make any sense. Why do it in the first place? I know how much you enjoy things like this, pampering. I thought it would be a fun thing for us to share. You had fun, didn't you? Well, yes. But I certainly wouldn't have had I known you were simply doing it to taunt me. I wasn't doing it to taunt you, Boots. She seems genuinely upset. I'm sorry. There's an awkward little standoff. Her eyeing the rubbing alcohol, me eyeing her claws. I rack my brains to think of a way to compromise with her. Perhaps if I tried appealing to her sense of style. I wonder if you'd like to try something. I don't know why I didn't do it in the first place, actually. I'm so forgetful sometimes. You're wittering. Well, just before I came to the island, there was a craze sweeping the fashion world. I could tell I've caught her attention. I read all about it in a Bon Vivant magazine. Go on. It's a French thing, apparently. Snooty Booty cocks her head to the side. It's called The pinky flick. Fleshe Rose. She's going for it. I feel encouraged. I'm thinking on my feet. All the celebrities are doing it. Doing what? Having their pinky nail painted while their other nails are left natural. Just one nail? She looks intrigued. Yeah, it really does look striking and a la mode. Show me. Bullseye. I go to take Snooty's paw in mine. She snatches it away. No, show me. I pause, uncertain of what she means. Then the penny drops. She wants me to paint my own pinky nail with desire. Oh, gladly. I suppose I should have expected Snooty Booty to attempt to groom me at some point. Here goes. I swipe some of the bright red polish off my left pinky. What do you think? Looks a la mode, right? I hold my pinky finger to the corner of my mouth, coyly. She does look a bit like Dr. Evil. $1 million. Oh, and he had a Sphinx cat as well, didn't he? Or it wasn't a Sphinx cat. It was a cat that lost all its fur when it was frozen and sent into space. Yeah, anyway. Well, I suppose it does look rather fetching. And I'll make a deal with you, human. I will wear my nails a la mode if you promise to keep yours painted for the rest of your stay here. It's a deal. I doubt that such a tiny amount of varnish will cause her too much harm. It will come off naturally quite soon anyway. Mine, on the other hand, is going to be more permanent. I can't wait to explain this to Professor Pauper. Oh boy. Lunatic woman. Cool. Let's go do some more romancing. Snooty, we're coming back for you. I feel like we're no closer to learning anything. I feel like the scout missions are much more interesting than talking to this testicle-looking cat motherfucker. Be a dear, would you? Snooty Booty is in the habit now of holding out a limp manicured paw for me to massage. I resignedly oblige. Oh, do you know, that reminds me, I have something for you. Something? For me? Oh, look at you with your mouth agape. Do close it. You'll embarrass us both. I'm sorry, I just didn't expect you'd ever think of me when I'm not with you. Ha! You do make me laugh, human. Oh my, are you serious? Well, I'll have you know, I think of you a great deal. You are my most faithful subject, don't you know? Now, if you want your gift, carry me further down the beach, and I'll show you where I hid it. Cradling the hairless cat like a baby, I stroll barefoot along the beach. Snooty Booty directs me with a wave of her paw every now and again. After a while, she loudly commands that I stop and put her down. Here. Snooty says with a regular level of enthusiasm, pointing at a perfectly filed claw at a mound of sand. I buried it. I suppose you want me to dig it up then, Boots. Ha! You always know what to say to make me laugh, human. It's quite a talent, I tell you. With a sigh, I start digging. Thankfully, she didn't bury it very deep, and after a few seconds, I find a small object wrapped in a silk scarf. We wouldn't want sand getting into it, now would we, dear? Snooty Booty says with a small smile. I carefully open the flimsy silk bundle and turn the contents over in my hands. It's a little black tub with a plain label stuck to it that reads Skin Cream P103. Ooh. Do you love it? What is it? Oh dear, can you not read? Yeah, it says skin cream, but I don't know exactly what that entails. Oh, you see, one massages skin cream into one's skin. Yeah, I understand that, Boots, but whose is this? Where did you find it? Well, it's yours now, human. I roll my eyes and further inspect the tub. It's very small and plain, with no cosmetic logo or name to be found. I pop open the plastic lid, and sure enough, it's full to the brim with goop. I scoop some out with my index finger and smell it. It smells disgusting, like bin juice or something. Boots, I can't put this onto my skin. It'll attract all sorts of bugs and wildlife. Oh, come now. We must We all must suffer for our beauty, mustn't we? What is in this stuff, Booty? Where did you get it from? All I ask is that you try some on your skin and tell me you don't see instant results. Oh, Snooty, have you been using this stuff? Of course. Without knowing where it comes from. But I know exactly where it comes from. Well then, will you please let me in on the secret? Oh, calm down, human. You'll give yourself more wrinkles. Let us take a moment to ponder how my generosity in giving you a thoughtful gift has developed into you interrogating me in such a brutish manner. I take a deep breath. Snooty Booty, I do apologise, and thank you sincerely. Of course I'm touched by your generosity and consideration. However, I am also quite concerned for your welfare. Did you take this thing from the lab? Oh no, not at all. Thank goodness. I took it from the stockpile behind the lab where the fire pits are. You mean the incinerators? Snooty, you did not take this from the toxic waste bins. I have no idea what they're called, but they routinely give forth the most incredible produce. Waste is indeed a fitting word. I think you'll find toxic is the objective word in that title, Snoot. The contents of those bins are meant to be burned. But why are they burning skin cream? I further scrutinise the tub and conclude that it really is some kind of beauty product. This makes no sense. Actually, Princess, this is a fantastic present and I'm going to take it right now for further examination. Thank you so much for this. Well, finally, a little gratitude. I am very grateful. Well, you can report back to me with how splendid you look after a few applications. Oh, I will. One thing, Snooty, just to be clear, have you been using this? But of course. I wouldn't recommend something without trying it first myself. And no problems? As you can see, human, my skin is as smooth and clear as porcelain. Yes, so why incinerate it? Speak up, human, you're mumbling. Nothing, Snooty. I just need your word that you will not use any products that you will find in the lab again, okay? Oh, I see your game, human. You want to be the fairest of them all, eh? No, that's not it. Very well, human. I shall go au naturel for a while. You will see how without even a touch of skin cream, I am still as radiant as a star. Okay, Snooty. Challenge accepted. Indeed. So, we got some creepy skin cream. Ah, Recon 16. Yes. New unlocks. Those cats are very excited. So there's some shit going down. They're dumping strange toxic creams. We're going to need to have a brief rest. You have a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Your energy has been restored. Magic. Right, let's go on our final recon for this section, I guess. I'm worried about the skin cream Snooty found. I'd feel a lot better if I took some time to analyse it. Yeah, good idea. If Snooty Booty found this skin cream out by the incinerator, that raises a lot of questions. Why are there cosmetics here in the first place? Again, there is a woman on the island. You seem to have forgotten this. Never mind. I decided to run some tests on it. Snooty Booty developed some nasty welts after using this cream. I want to see what it's made from. I have a feeling that it's not something the professor would want me to be poking around him, so I've come to the lab late at night to make sure I won't get any unwanted attention. I'm quickly able to identify a number of common natural skincare ingredients like shea butter and chamomile, but there's some other components that I can't immediately identify. What else could be in this stuff? I run the sample through the database of organic compounds to see if there are any matches. There are. Cat urine? I'd better not share that little discovery with Snooty Booty. I decide to check for any clues out by the incinerators. Maybe I can find out a little more about where these things are coming from. At the back of the tent area, there are a couple of large pits that are for disposal of harmful waste from the lab. There's nothing incinerating right now, so I can dig around a little in the smouldering ashes. I'm tentatively moving the debris around with a stick. So far it seems to be just soot and cinders, no clues. Suddenly the silence is disrupted by the sound of someone entering the lab. I make myself scarce by crawling around the far side of a nearby bush. As luck would have it, I happen to have ended up at an ideal vantage point to be able to see into the lab through a gap in the canvas. Two men enter with a large crate. I recognise them as the ferryman and his son. Professor Pauper is with them. He directs them to place the crate on the worktop. The professor reaches in and brings out a small tub that looks identical to the one Snooty Booty found. My guess is that this is the next batch for testing. The professor stops what he's doing abruptly and looks at his catalogue. I presume he's receiving a phone call. He dismisses the two men with a wave of his hand. Oh good, I couldn't remember what their voices were. As soon as they've gone, he turns his attention to the catalogue. He looks anxious as he speaks. Yes, they've just been delivered. I shall make a start first thing tomorrow morning. Yes, madam, I certainly will, madam. With all due respect, I do understand the urgency, but I'm sure you will understand the need for thoroughness. I can assure you it will be ready by the deadline. Testing on sample 104 is going far more smoothly in 103. The improvements are very encouraging. There's a long silence. From the expression on his face, I imagine he's being lectured. It's very important to cross-check it with the data here. The island itself has a significant effect on the samples. We still have some tests left to do. We are making progress. Of course, I will let you know straight away. The call ends abruptly. Presumably, Madam cut him off. He looks angrier than I've ever seen him. He marches out of the lab and heads off in the direction of his tent. I sneak away from the bushes and head to my own tent. I can continue with my investigations another time. Oh shit. So there's something going down. Old Professor Pauper's got a boss somewhere who's in charge, called Madam. Could this be actually just about skincare? And it's like this is like a weird allegory for animal testing or something? I don't know. But we got 9.7% of the antidote already. Let's move on. We've got one more slot for romance. So let's go check out Snooty Booty for the last time before we start doing some actual research. Ah, the delicacy of a moment is sometimes only matched by the beauty of the moonlight's reflection on the sea. Snooty Booty turns her big shining silver eyes up to meet mine. Human, I have lived a long life, and only the first of 9, don't you know? It has been much of the same for as far back as my fragile memory reaches. Seeing the moon reflected on the sea would once mean only that I had stayed awake too long, and that I shall see the same shade of grey reflected in the circles under my eyes the next day. However, seeing how you conduct yourself, human, with the grace of a drunken fruit fly, and yet the confidence of a red-bottomed mandrill, has left me quite inspired. You do not care one bit about how you look. I subtly try to comb my hair with my fingers as Snooty Booty turns her attention back to the moon. I have found, since meeting you, that when one cares less about one's appearance, one finds the capacity to care more about other things. That's so, Boots. Quite so, human. Indeed, I have found it rather freeing to bathe in salt water, something which not long ago would have caused me to turn grey with anxiety. In the same vein, I feel I am owed some thanks for teaching you a thing or two about proper skin care. Snooty, your demand that I use a night cream caused me to break out in hives, but once they subside, you were left with a very healthy glow. I sigh. Harold? Yes, Snooty Booty? There is a poem I half remember. The words have become more irrelevant, but the sentiment is so enduring that it is almost enough to cause me to weep at the thought of it. Music is also like that, don't you find? And smell. All of the senses, in fact, are the palette that colours our experiences and leaves an indelible mark on the soul. That's beautiful. Human, I believe you and I are both aesthetes? Sure. We're what? We share an artist's appreciation of the séduisant. And again, what? Really do try to keep up. I could tell I'm somewhat spoiling a mood here, so I keep my mouth shut and try to look engaged. I have suffered on this god-forsaken island from the lack of many things, but nothing has quite matched the pain of feeling alone. Not having a companion to share the more delicate sensibilities that life has to offer. An alluring scent, a vibrant hue, an Epicurean delight. All the subtle joys that are wasted on your more uncivilized cohabitants. It has been like air to my suffocation sharing time with you, human. Why, Snoots, thank you. I enjoy our time together too. And so, she ploughs on through as if I'm as though I am an interruption. I feel that together, you and I might create something rather wonderful. Oh God. Maybe Laura's premonition was right. I really don't want to fuck the cat. I really don't. Oh? A masterpiece. Oh, right. A masterpiece. Out of what? Please don't go the way that this is clearly headed. Out of us, human, a union, a joining together of souls. I don't know. A marriage of hearts and minds. Are you saying what I think? Hey! I didn't think they'd allow cat fucking on Steam, okay? They don't allow anime boobs, so why would they allow you to fuck a cat? Are you saying what I think you're saying, Snooty? I'm saying that I am fond of you enough to give me cause to believe that we may be able to commit to each other in the time-honoured tradition of love, human. I do not feel the same way. I'm amazed and touched and amazed, Snooty Booty. You are a remarkable cat, and I am also very fond of you, but a time-honoured commitment. I'm really not sure I can make that kind of... Oh, well, I see the problem. It's a class thing, yes. I've considered it a hindrance myself, but was willing to overcome, but... Indeed, I do believe you're correct, human. You will never truly be my equal. As a friend, of course, but anything more would be quite ridiculous. I'm glad I've made the situation clear, and do hope you're not too hurt by my rejection. Oh, well, of course I'm disappointed, but I understand. Thank you, Snooty Booty, for breaking it to me so gently. If I were going to fuck a cat, and I'm not going to fuck a cat, but if I were going to fuck a cat, it would not be the one that looks like a testicle. Okay? Just putting that out there right now. That's going to be a good clip. We'll say no more about it, human. I am rather tired now, so if you would be so kind as to carry me to some shade and fan me while I take my nap, I would be most appreciative. Of course, Boots. Well, we rejected Snooty Booty. I think after that rejection of Snooty Booty, we're going to leave it there, because it's 10 to 10, and I've got to go to sleep and get over this cold. Well, that was weird. I'm sure I'll come back to this at some point, because I'm interested to find out what the fuck's going on with all these weird people turning into cats. And not fuck any cats. What one? Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, you know. The island might change you. Thank you for watching. I might be back tomorrow. It depends on how quickly I get all my work done. but it will not be at the normal time of 8 till 10. It will be earlier if I am on at all. And then I will be back again on Tuesday next week for the usual time. If I'm around tomorrow, I think the Shaman challenges are out on Hitman 2, so that's probably what I'll be doing. Or I'll be doing some good old WoW to get my item level up before a raid I'm doing on Saturday. But otherwise, I mean, who knows? I might not be on at all. But otherwise, thank you for watching. If you're not already following, please follow. And otherwise, I will catch you when I'm back. Follow my Twitter for any unannounced streams that turn up. See you later, guys.